Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Wife had emotional and physical affair that began through gaming, would love other gamers' perspectives especially. Been having trouble finding the right community to post this in, but maybe this is the right place. I'm 40 meters, at a weird crossroads in my life, and I've been thinking a lot about gaming and relationships, both in game and in real life, and how they affect each other. My wife, 42F, and companion of 14 years had an emotional affair with a man online, in one of her first multiplayer experiences using voice comms. In the span of a week after meeting this guy, she asked for a divorce and quickly consummated the affair in physical fashion. It was shockingly fast, and partly driven by past traumas. He reminded her of her dead father, but there was no excuse for it. She became a gamer in 2018 with RDR2. And it was magical to watch her pick up this hobby that has always been an important part of my life. Gaming has always been a sacred space to me, and I'm an open and inclusive person who has never harassed a woman online. Of all the ways she could have chosen to do this, it felt like the deepest betrayal. She tainted the one activity that could have provided me the most solace in this time, and I'm really struggling with it. This is a long post, so I'll divide it up, and I'm hunting for your perspective and experiences here in the comments, if you have any to share. My own experiences gaming with women. My outlook on gaming with women formed about 20 years ago. This girl a year younger than me joined our competitive FPS team, and it was delightful to play with her and talk with her. I even considered asking her more personal questions and flirting, but before I did she confided in me that one of the other team members was harassing her on IC. Yeah, I'm old, deal with it. And she just wanted to play the game with us. That was my first realization that this space online was hallowed ground. And none of us had any right to harass the women that gamed with us. They were just one of the guys enjoying an activity the same way that we were. He was a good friend, and I talked to him, and he stopped his behavior. In the following years I gamed with women here and there, and I even had to kick a guy out of a WoW guild for harassing the women. Although the online realm is tainted with casual misogyny, I felt like I was always playing with good guys that understood boundaries and made sure women had a safe space, even if they made a joke in poor taste once in a while. In competitive Overwatch, I spent a lot of time making myself a target for people who were especially toxic toward female one-trick mercy players. I don't get angry easily, so it was usually simple to turn their direction to me and away from the women. I had no problem handling their toxicity, especially if I knew it was sparing someone else, and I was able to play in high masters consistently by adopting this mindset. Whether it was a child, a woman, or someone else who was a target, I always made sure they had a friend in the match. My own experience nearly committing an emotional affair. This experience was in 2019, and I thought about it a lot after finding and reading through my wife's adulterous messages and images on PSN. The guy in question was texting my wife in the style of a bratty 14-year-old boy from 2007 with a T9 keypad, and almost immediately asking for pics of her cleavage. She initially resisted, mentioned she was married, and multiple times asked him to stop asking for pics, but she never blocked him or disengaged from the chat. After he sent some shirtless pics showing how fit he was, she changed her tune and started flirting back and eventually sent a topless pic. I felt embarrassed for her after reading the texts, just unable to understand what kind of woman would respond to "hey, show me your cleave," and then embarrassed for myself, that I married a person who turned out so shitty. This gets me back to my own experience nearly committing an emotional affair in 2019. I was playing FF14 with friends who eventually got bored, and I started grinding Eureka for fun. If you played the game, you probably remember hating Eureka with a passion, but I found it refreshing, because the old school feel left you interacting with people in a way you didn't get during regular play. I started grinding treasure in Eureka, and there was usually only one person with me. We chatted constantly and she eventually invited me to a private Discord. She was only 2 years younger than me, and we talked about old school RPGs from the SNES, PS1 and PS2 eras. She had also read many of the sci-fi and fantasy novels I used to love from the 80s and 90s, so there was an easy connection. Over the next 5 to 6 weeks we talked for 2 to 3 hours every morning. Wife at work, I worked from home while grinding, and she started posting some videos and pictures of her in the Discord. "Here's my cat," she'd say, with a video showing her in a revealing swimsuit and the cat by her pool. Or "here's some cookies I just made," as she leaned against the counter in a low-cut top. It didn't really occur to me that she was flirting heavily with me, as I'm so used to just assuming women are online to play the game like me. Eventually she asked for a pic from me, saying I had a nice laugh and she wanted to see my face. Even though I felt overweight at the time, she told me I looked like I'd be great for cuddles under a blanket. This is the moment I knew I was fucking up and slipping into something I shouldn't, as I was fully committed to my wife. I responded awkwardly with something like, yeah, I'm a real furnace, to which she replied, oh, I could use some of that heat. I just felt a pit in my stomach and I knew I had to stop playing with her. She got a little angry, accused me of leading her on, which confused me, but I apologized profusely like it was my fault. Maybe it was my fault because I wasn't picking up the obvious signals. I thought about this moment even more after seeing a very similar exchange in my wife's texts where he said he put out a lot of heat, and she mentioned how that's great because she's always cold. I quit the game soon after that. I just didn't have it in my heart to keep playing as I realized I was only logging in for her anyway. I never told my wife, because I felt I didn't need to. After all, I went no contact the moment I realized I was getting feelings. To some degree I understood the appeal of a fresh connection that my wife must have been feeling, but also knew that her behavior was her fault and about her own trauma and insecurities. I just wish she had been a stronger, better person. Thinking about relationships for the future and where gaming fits in them. I'm trying to think about what I want in a future relationship when I eventually get back out there. Having that connection over gaming was amazing, but now all I can think about is what women are going through on a daily basis while playing online games. Would I become jealous over friendships she might have with men online because of the way my wife decided to betray me? Would I become irrationally angry over the constant stream of harassment my partner endures? How common is it for these emotional affairs to occur in games, and do any of you have stories to tell that might give perspective? For girl gamers with successful marriages and relationships, what does your partner do for you, if anything, that makes you feel secure against the onslaught of show me your tits you get on a constant basis? Here are some of the best comments from our community. I'm a gamer, but honestly I don't think the gaming aspect is too important here. Bad, men gatekeep everything they consider a hobby, from working out to music to fishing to TV shows, doesn't matter. Some hobbies are solitary but most are funnier when shared. As a younger adult, I did my best to keep a variety of male and female friends, but by this time in my life, I only have female friends and male acquaintances. The same can be said for my current boyfriend. He started out a varied group, but by now he exclusively has male friends. I have found that for some reason it is very hard in opposite-sex friendships for at least one person to not begin mistaking friendly affection for romantic affection. I don't have any gamer-specific experiences on this issue, but I used to have a platonic male gym buddy who I don't remember even hugging before one day having him suddenly lean in and try to kiss me. He probably saw me at my sweatiest and smelliest, but still didn't stop the time we spent together from letting his attraction grow. BC, that's all it takes, time. It isn't impossible, but it is very hard, which is why I don't even try anymore. I'd rather work out or go hiking alone than put myself in another compromising situation. Am I on conversational terms several guys? Sure. Will I ever spend any length of time one-on-one any of them? Not anymore. Move on, she divorced you and left. Any social activity that provides for consistent interaction one-on-one carries the potential or even the likelihood of, at the very least, emotional affairs. Actual relationships bring with them the full scope of life and the realities of problems that must be addressed. Emotional affairs are free from that baggage and build fantasies that far too many cannot ignore. These are conversations that couples would do well to have and acknowledge the dangers of any such activity, including of course work relationships. So sorry to see yet another casualty frown. I don't think there is a general recipe for how to have a healthy relationship or how you can avoid affairs. TBH, I think you underrated the aspect of physical attraction within your marriage and became complacent in your both comfort and gaming. She suddenly felt that she needed something else. I think you have to have a balance of not giving too much and demand something in return, pull and push. I hope you get better and heal from that. You deserve someone better. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.